We are going for a walk in the woods. There's not a whole lot I can tell you about where we're going because I don't know anything. We are on old Polish military territory, and during the Cold War, several structures were built here in order to store something. It was an extremely well protected area within the military area, within its own border area with double fences. And I thought it might be interesting to go take a look and see what may or may not have been stored in these locations. It was claimed to be paperwork of a very sensitive nature. So we'll see. We are not far from some of my pre-World War I forts that I enjoy so much, and a still active military base, which is why, even on Google Earth, some of this area is blocked out. But there was no warning signs, and I thought a walk in the woods would be fun.
And if I tell you we're in a former military area, and they're not growing asparagus, well, then they give an idea that somewhere in behind here, interesting things were hiding. And if one row of barbed wire is not enough to separate the ditch, another row should let you know that this is a very secure area. At least it used to be. Over there is the first of the reasons why behind the multitudes of barbed wire and steep climbs is why we're here. So this should give you an idea that we're going inside something. This is a fairly normal wooden door.
I will stay here, yes, because I was in this.
Okay. This is where the Russian forces in Poland had intended on storing their secret documents. There's a string of these bunkers, and you see their small rooms. That's a technical tunnel, so there'll be a generator in here somewhere. Bigger rooms. Technical tunnels running through these. I wonder if there would have to be, if those temperature control, some documents and materials do need a specific temperature, and of course you don't want it too moist in the air, and filtration is one thing. And here's the other entrance. Scrappers were here, sadly. I think you'll be, yeah, been some, could be some generator with a water tank. It's not big enough for a generator. It's not big enough for a generator in here. But machinery, filtration, it could be the filtration room. There wouldn't have been a gas proof room in here. There wouldn't have been any reason for that, since this is not a place where people would be. Could have been a small generator fitting there. Could have been. So some of the scrap iron rolls into here, so that's entirely possible. I don't know why they would have to dig up the floor. But no symmetrical rooms. There's very little left to tell of the time or what was here. Floor, herringbone. There's a blank, I think. No. That's about it. And there's bathrooms. There used to be bathrooms. So at least there would be a place where people could work. So I'm actually rather surprised if this was just a storage. Bathroom facilities. No, actually quite a few bathrooms. I'm just slightly surprised. But this is not the most secure, as we can clearly tell. There being a simple wooden door, even though it is within a secure area. Gives me an idea in that room there might have been a small furnace or a heater. Why else would there be a chimney here? It's undercover and covered by dirt, but it's not exactly a strengthened position. And there's a series of these, and they're all connected by a little path. And you would, back in the day, be able to ride with a Jeep, I imagine. Let's take a quick peek. This is a little deeper. Certainly tell the colors on the wall of what era and military they belong to. Oh, this is a lot bigger. Strengthened ceiling. This is a lot bigger, actually. And the rooms are certainly a lot bigger too. I mean, certainly these were not for munitions or like in the stores, because they're not reinforced or hardened enough for that. But they're in a double secure area, so it was important what was in here, and it was said that these were files, papers from the Russian army. Of course, that basis in Poland, just like U.S. had bases in Germany, although not exactly in the same terms, I suppose. This is rather large. Actually, I'm surprised. This is a real building. And here's the rear entrance. Bathrooms. I'm curious to see how deep this goes. It does continue quite a bit. This is a large building. I did not expect that. But of course, paper, documents, files, they take up space, don't they? And they're using all the doors. Son of a... Oh, there's a nail in that. That's nice. I'll take that out later. And there's another cheerful gray room. I really would like to have had some writing on the wall. I'm not talking about graffiti. Just something, a sign, anything. Give me an idea what. But of course, secret is secret. And before the Russians pulled out, I know they just left to some degree. They just packed up and left. But I'm sure the signs that said, here's Warsaw packed documents, store here. That sign probably went for them. No shortage of documents were destroyed in those chaotic days when they pulled out, but they were not as chaotic as you might think. In what was East Germany, that was chaotic. And a lot of files were not destroyed that they're still dissecting now, figuring out who was actually snitching on who. Their withdrawal from Poland and other countries subsequently was a little slower, and more material was recovered and transported out. And the guard posts still stand here empty and rusty away with nobody watching anymore. But what were they watching over? There's a lot of ventilation to these, and large chimneys for the central heating, but there's a lot of ventilation. There's a lot of ventilation. Let's go see if we can tie that together with the reality underground. Wow, the scrappers have been here. All the copper from the pipes. I would think the furnace would be above here. That's the ventilation. Or is a chimney. Ventilation post. Oh. But they have central heating. That's under the staircase. The ventilation needs seem to have been different because the equipment in here have different mounts in the different bunkers, and some have a lot less ventilation, some have a lot more. So that's an indication of usage. Then they were not used for the same type of material. And there's all the pipes in the ceiling here. A lot more pipes went through here than I was. Well, I did want some writing on the walls. Now I have writing on the walls. electricity ran to these. Again, this is much bigger than the first. There's another exit there. Well, that looks like the imprint of a shelf unit. Alrighty. So I'll just see what else. These little ones here. I'm wondering if the color scheme on the walls is also an indication of what was done in here, what they were used for. This is very interesting. It's like an underground base that's secure within secure area, but certainly not nuclear or bomb-proof. Don't know what to make of that. Do you? And now there's a lot of these. And of course there is a base nearby here. There's lots and lots of these. Let's take a quick peek, see if it's bigger or smaller, or gives me an indication that there's something extraordinarily special. This is another large bunker. Well, we'll have to call it a bunker. Engine room, I would imagine. Well, this is getting interesting.
Sometimes with these historic places, there's just not enough information to tell you a whole lot before or after, but I will keep going through them, at least presenting them, and maybe other people will know, certainly people who were alive today when these were in service might see these and inform us of what the content was, what was stored here. Until then, there are many more around the world for us to explore. Behind me is Wernher von Braun's first test stand. Down the road is Diebner's nuclear reactor. Over there is the Maginot Line and all its amazing forts. I'm visiting them all and I'm bringing them to you. So I really appreciate you like, follow, and share what I'm doing, trying to document all these important historical locations. And if you feel like you want to watch more pictures or documents that I use for these, go to lostbattlefields.com. And if you feel like helping me out with my travels, because gasoline and travel and airfare is expensive, my PayPal is there, protectionserviceint.com. You are more than welcome, but you don't have to. I appreciate all your support and all your help, and I love seeing these locations, and I love bringing them to you.